Hey, this is your boxing prediction for the upcoming fights that will be happening on August the 6th. Okay? Now, the rounds, the betting that the predictions that we are talking about pertains to, excuse me, the Mcgregor Lee and Vincent Legrand fight this Friday. And I'll also be doing a prediction for all the remaining fights. The 2 p.m. Well, they're all 2 p.m.s, but they'll be staggered. So, first fight is going to be the Lee Mcgregor. And the main event looks like it's going to be Michael Conlan versus TJ Doheny. All right. So, let's go over the odds for the Lee Mcgregor and the Vincent Legrand fight. Okay. Now, this is Bet Online. This is for the money line for this fight. The underdog is going to be Vincent Legrand, because if you put down $100 and Vincent Legrand wins, you get $1,200. And the expected winner is Lee Mcgregor. So you would need to put down $2,500 to win $100. Now, the over and under is what we are going to be looking at today. For the over 5.5 rounds is minus 110. That means you need to put down $110 to win $100. And if it goes under 5.5 rounds, if you put down $120, you get back $100. So for most people anticipate this, well, not most people, but the money anticipates this to be over 5.5 rounds. I'm sorry. Most people anticipate this to be under 5.5 rounds. Okay? And the reason I say that is because you need to put up more money to win $100. You need to put up $120 to win $100 versus only putting up $110 to win $100. And if you're new to betting, that's okay. I was new at one point too and had to learn how this works. But when you do the under 110, that means that you need to put up this amount to get $100. And you can do it like, even if you're just putting up, you put up $11 to make $1. You put up $12 on this one to make $1. So you can, it breaks down the same way, but usually they go in hundreds. All right, so let's go back to the fight itself, the fighters. So Lee Mcgregor, let's look at his record. He's 10-0. He's fighting out of United Kingdom, okay? He has his amateur boxing is on point. Well, not really on point. Very little amateur fights, but enough. A handful. All right. Now, all sports. This just combines everything. But let's look at the pro. The pro, he's been, his last fight, he won by TKO in the first round against Kareem Gurfi. The one before that, and that was his fight against Kareem Gurfi, was on March 19th. And that was in the United Kingdom. And the one before that was on August 26th against Ryan Walker, TKO, round 5. And Walker coming into it, he was 11-1. So his opponent, let's look at his, he's 24. Alias Lightning, Orthodox 5'7". Okay, now let's look at his opponent, Vincent Legrand. When was his last fight? His last fight was December 2020, so that was about 8 months ago. Okay, so it's been a while. He hasn't fought in quite some time. And the person he was fighting was Alexandru Ionita, and he was coming into the ring 7-2. He won. Vincent Legrand won on points. It went 6 rounds. Let's see, the fight before that. Wow, what? This guy doesn't seem to be too busy, does he? It was in November of 2019. So this guy seems like he fights like once a year. Once, twice a year. He's back in 2019. So this shows that he hasn't been in the ring. He hasn't been in the ring as of late. He's only 30 years old. He has 32 wins, 0 knockouts. I'm sorry, 17 knockouts, 0 losses, and 0 draws. So about half of his fights, he knocks guys out. As of late, his last 5 fights, no knockout, no knockout, no knockout, no knockout, and 1 knockout against this guy here, Kavice Gigolashev. Seems like he might be a journeyman with 29 losses, 14 wins. So his resume is not that good. So, but he's a southpaw and he's taller. He has the height advantage. But the thing about this is, looking at this fight, looking for information as far as his last fights, has been pretty hard. He doesn't fight often, and like when you type in his name in Google, it shows him like his last fight is 8 years ago. Like, what the fuck? Well, that not his last fight was 8 years ago, but his last fight on YouTube that you can watch was 8 years ago. So it's like, what the fuck? This guy, this shows that he has no, I don't want to say following, but doesn't seem like he's that impressive, because if you're pretty impressive, there'll be YouTube film about you. Okay, at least most boxers. And I've found that to be the case. I learned a hard lesson about that. There was a fight maybe like 3 months ago, and it was the headliner, but the one of the fighters hardly had any information about him, and he was coming out of South America. I can't remember which country it was. I don't know if it was Colombia or Peru or somewhere. And there was very little video of him, and the dude got knocked out in the first round. But he had a great record, but he got knocked out in the first round. So that's one of my rule of thumbs. If there's very little video footage of your fights, then that's a red flag. And let's take a look at him. This is Alberto Milian. Our guy Vincent Legrand is in the white shorts. This is the early rounds. Let's go to the later rounds. he's not doing anything impressive. Doesn't have, you know, doesn't throw a lot of punches. Doesn't throw hard, earth-shattering punches. All right, so that's our guy. At least that's as much video footage as we can find. And this fight was back in 2013, so long time ago. Now let's take a look at Lee Mcgregor. This fight was against. This footage is against Mcgregor versus Farouk. And let's go back. Looks like November 19th. All right, so the fight was on November 16th. I don't know how the hell that shit. Oh, no, let me see. November 23rd. I'm sorry. This was uploaded November 23rd, so a couple days after the fight. So let's take a look at
born and brought up in Lahore in Pakistan. He came here when he was 6, not knowing anyone, and he found boxing. But when he first went to the gym, he had to take 2 different buses. Took him an hour and a quarter to get there. But he kept at it, stuck at it, kept making those journeys. Such was his desire, and here you can see the fruit of it.
That's good work here from Farouk. Just before this good assault, Mcgregor landed a nice little 1-2, but then sort of good right hand there from Mcgregor.
Well, that was better from Mcgregor. Whether he missed with the right hand or not.
Now Mcgregor is putting together some nice punches, some combinations. Definitely throwing harder punches than our guy. What's his name? Legrand.
That takes a lot out of you.
Let's go further. Let's take a
but
look.
I'll tell you what, Barry, McGregor's boxed well off the back foot this round.
I think he has in this round. For me, I think the fact that Farouk's be coming forward in straight lines. Oh no!
Well,
he has been warning him, to be fair, but it's a nightmare for him.
You just don't want to see something like that affecting a fight like this. That's the only thing. Referee's got to do his job. Huge shot from McGregor, who was winning that round. Let's not forget.
Oh, lovely left hook there.
McGregor is putting that flamethrower on Farouk. He was just taking a point away, deducted a point for holding.
Body shot there from Farouk. Lovely right to the body.
And McGregor fires back. You have a go, I'll have a go. McGregor's still winning the rounds.
Oh.
What a fantastic fight.
No worries about their chins, is there? That's for sure.
Gut check, chin check, everything check.
So there we have a nice round. 2 decent fighters. McGregor definitely has a better punch selection than his opponent. McGregor is showing what the hell is going on? McGregor's definitely showing that he can take a punch, and McGregor's Farouk definitely, in my opinion, definitely throws harder punches than Vincent Legrand. At least what he threw back 8 years ago. And being that there's not much footage about him, I don't think much has changed. So for this bet, I'm going to go with Lee Mcgregor under 5.5 rounds, because he doesn't have what it takes, in my opinion, to keep. I don't think that Vincent Legrand has what it takes to do anything to Lee Mcgregor, and I don't think Vincent Legrand has anything that will prevent Lee Mcgregor from bringing that flamethrower. So I'm going to go with McGregor under 5. All right. I'm going to go ahead and drop. I started off with $25 $25, and I just worked my way up. I used to place huge bets, but I learned my lesson. I was an impulse gambler, but now I'm more strategic. So I took all my money out, and I started off with 25. So I'm just going to keep working my way up methodically, and I'm going to go ahead and put 5 on this. I don't bet large amounts, like I said. I used to, but I don't impulse gamble. I do strategic betting. I'm not going to put anything on the money line because the odds are just too big. I'm not going to put anything on Vincent Legrand. Of course, this is boxing. He could, come out with the win, but I don't see it happening. But if I did see it happening, then it would be a different story. But we're going to go ahead and place the bet. Confirm bet. Close. And that is the end of the prediction for this fight. I am going to do the same for all of the other fighters. If you want this information, I've put a link in the description to get the full video of all of the fights and all of my predictions. And I'm just using this as a way to make small amounts of money over time and just grow the account balance. So thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk with you later.
And there you have it. Another great video. I want to thank you for watching, and feel free to share this. Feel free to like this. Feel free to subscribe. And also, you are more than welcome to donate or support this channel. I leave my links, my Zelle, my Cash App, and I also accept cryptocurrency. Thank you once again. Take care. I'm out.
Hey, this is another fight prediction. This is going to be for the Pedro Mccrory versus Sergey Gorakhov. Okay? As we go through here, we see that the Gorakhov is the underdog, plus 190. That means if you put down $100, you win $190. McCrory, you put down $240 to win $100. Over 8.5 minus 170. Under 8.5 plus 140. Now, this fight here is going to be a close one. There's not much fight video on them. So, Pedro Mccrory, he's 11-0. He's 33 years old. 6'1", orthodox. Last fight was in 220, and that was back in September of 2020. So it's almost been a year. So he's been out the ring about a year, and that really worries me. It really worries me. That's definitely could play a factor. When a fighter is out for such a long time, you just never really know what's going. You never know, what's really going on. Even though he's coming off a good victory, TKO in the first round, It's questionable what has been going on. Was he sick? Has he lost his passion? Who knows what's going on for that such a long period of time. And you can look back in 2019, he fought three times in 2019. And how many times in 2018? Quite a few times. 2018, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times in 2018. So he hasn't fought in about a year. So has a lot of ring rust. And he's 33 years old. So that plays a factor. But again, he's coming off of a good victory with the first round knockout. But the thing is, he doesn't have a history of knockouts. He only has 5 KOs out of 11. So that's not really anything it's not anything that stands out. Now, his fight before that, before the knockout, it went all 6 rounds and he won on points. He's fighting Journeyman, TKO 8th round versus Steve Collins Jr. And looks like another Journeyman. Quite a few losses. 31, Ireland. Another thing to take into consideration is their health. Over the past couple months, did they get the injection? Because a lot of times these people get the injection and it really messes up their health. So I take that into consideration, because he hasn't fought since the whole lockdown and all this other stuff, compared to his opponent, which is Sergey Gorovkov. He's 31. He's 2 years younger. He's shorter. He has 11 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. But the thing about him, his last opponent that he fought this year was Marko Nikolic, and he was tall too. He was 6'2", orthodox. So the height, the guy right here really doesn't care too much. Doesn't have an impact on height. He's 5'10", coming in shorter, but he's been active. He's fought, let's see, this guy here, when was the last time this guy fought? This guy fought on September of last year. That was his last fight. So this guy had one fight during the lockdown period, and he had a TKO in the 10th round. So, and his opponent was 27-0. So that means that he's able to carry the power all the way up until the end of the fight. This fight here is going 10 rounds. So it's I don't know if this guy, let's look at his amateur. Has he been knocked out in amateur? He's been knocked out in amateur before. And that was back in 2007. He was knocked out in amateur. But amateur really doesn't really count too much per se, but he has been knocked out. Okay, so we have to take that into consideration. So there isn't much video of these guys. This is Govrachov. Gorokov.
Класно влучив джебом.
He's not really too impressive to me,
Концентрується на
but he's consistent. He throws punches, not a lot, but
скористатися.
he'll throw. He'll keep throwing.
Є по рукавицях Горохов.
He's like that car that's going to go 65 down the highway regardless of the speed limit. He's just going to keep going. And he's able to carry this power, or whatever power is knockout power, for 10 rounds. If you knock out a guy in the 10th round, it means that you are able to carry that power.
Сергія Горохова, який нібито й не має такого нокауту.
Plus, he's younger than the other guy.
Але все ж таки,
So this guy's younger, has been more active,
коли щільно кладе свої серії, це важко не помітити. І
and his last fight was a knockout as well. His knockout was in the 10th round. But what concerns me, the lack of video for his fights, and
ну, дійсно звертає ринг-анонсер увагу на те, що обидва спортсмени представляють портові міста. Потім народився Шоні і в Калінінграді
yo,
Горохов.
yo.
Ну що ж, 9
Yo, what up?
бою. І
Nothing. My back into my phone is acting up.
шукає.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
Later.
Другим номером продовжує працювати.
All right.
Зміщуючись і на відходах, прокидаючи удари. Але у Горохова все-таки, здається, була тактика на весь бій. А у Шоні такий був, знаєте, точні епізоди. Ви бачите, постійно 10 секунд. Пропускає Шоні. Ну, просто, мені здається, вже немає сили грузинського боксера. Щось зробити. Захищається, бій завершено, чекаємо суддівського вердикту. Швидше за все буде він на користь представника Російської Федерації. Дуже непростий бій пройшли ці хлопці.
$23. What is? No. What is that? It might have been this fight here. So for this prediction here, I've got to go with the younger guy, the shorter guy. Well, he's plus 200. When we first started, it was plus 190. Now it's plus 200. So put a couple bucks down on this one here. Is it going to go the distance? That guy concerns me. Being out for almost a year, I don't think it's going to go the distance. So I'm going to put a couple dollars on this, 3, maybe 4. Maybe $4 or $5. Put two. I'm gonna put two. No, I'll put 5 on them. I'll put 5 on them. For it to go under 8, I'm gonna go ahead and put I don't think that guy's gonna last. I don't think he's gonna last a full 10 rounds. So I'll put 3. Place my bet. Confirm bet. And there we have it. Alright, so the next fight. Go ahead. Hey, this fight prediction is going to be for the Sean Mccomb versus Vicente Rodriguez. And Sean Mccomb is the expected winner with odds of 3,300. And that means that you have to put down $3,300 to win $100. And you have to put down, for Vicente, if you put down $100, then you win $1,200. All right. So over 6.5 rounds, minus 270. Under 6.5 rounds is plus 210. So this is expected to go over 6.5 rounds, with the winner being Sean Mccomb. That's what the money market says. All right. Now let's look at the fighters themselves. Sean Mccomb is 28 years old, Ireland southpaw, and 5'11.5". He's coming off of a loss. That was back in February of this year. It was a knockout in the 7th round. So somebody gets knocked out in the 7th round. See, when a fighter comes off of a loss, you never know how they're going to return to the ring. They may take it as a lesson. They may, people handle losses different ways. So, being that he's coming back, fairly soon after the knockout, means that he may have gone back to the drawing board and, see what happened, why he got knocked out. All right. And then before the knockout, he was going the distance for the most part, except he retired one of the guys in the 6th round. So there's that. Let's see what his amateur boxing was like. This is boxing, things do happen. Wow, fucking great amateur experience, but no knockouts. 67 wins and 30 losses. So he has a great amateur. But sometimes, even though people have great amateurs, it's not translate into a great pro life. But it's also always good to have. So let's look at his opponent, Vicente Martin Rodriguez. 39 fights, 21 KOs, 6 defeats, and 1 draw. All right, so this guy has a lot of experience in pro. Okay. Now, I watched some of his fights, not all of them. He fought some popular names such as Adrian Broner. Okay. So, William Kekette. And he has been knocked out So, but his last couple fights, they went the full distance. And he mainly fought people in Argentina, as you can see. So that means that most of his opponents were Argentinian. And one of the things that I notice is when people generally fight in their homeland, it's not really reliable as to their record, except if it's in the United States. But generally speaking, if one countryman is fighting another countryman, and they've both had mainly opponents within the same country, you would have to go by what their skill is like in the ring versus their record. Now, Sean Mccomb looks pretty good.
Two lovely shots.
Go on the video.
Such a good shot for him.
Sean Mccomb is in the gray gloves.
Some of the action, that jab from Quinn wouldn't have helped.
No, and again, Quinn just piling forward. A lot of shots on the goods, to be fair, and look at the fire back. But Mccomb again in that round for me found enough gaps to do this one again. We're going to see one here now, I think. Good body shot from there, lovely little foot placement to spin off. And again.
Oh, the heads came close together again too. Mccomb with his own body shot.
Did that. That's good work there from Quinn.
Mccomb.
And again there with that uppercut.
It's nice to step at all from the head. Now let's see what we can pick out.
So what we can say is that Mccomb, he throws punches, but he doesn't have a lot of power, whereas the Argentinian, he has 21 knockouts, but how many knockouts does Mccomb have? 5 KOs, but he only has 11. He has great amateur, but it's pro fights. Like, what the hell is going on here? So for this one here, I'm not too confident about this one. Somebody's confident. They're thinking that it's going to go. I don't see him as minus 3,300. Woo, that there is suspect there. Minus 3,300 coming off of a knockout. I don't know. His opponent is pretty old. He's 28. His opponent is 36. So his opponent's pretty old. I hate to say he's old like that, but in boxing world, this is old. And he's coming off a couple losses. So the question goes to how much has he been training? Let's see if there's a weigh-in, so we can see what they look like, body language. No press conference. Oh boy. It seemed like a filler fight. It'll probably go to the distance. I'd say it's going to go over 6.5. But this right here just irks me. I should put $1 on Vicente. Yeah, coming off a loss, no press conference. This is a tough one, guys. This is a tough one. Pretty sure Sean Mccomb is going to win, but Vicente Martin is not the pushover. Let's take a look at his last fight.
Okay, we're back. So for the Sean Mccomb versus Vicente Martin Rodriguez fight, I'm definitely not going to put down $33 to win $1. I'm either going to put down $1 for Vicente, but I don't want to lose. It's going to go under. Let's listen to the market on this one. Being that this is so high, and he's coming off of a loss, let's put $2 under 6.5. Because again, when a fighter is coming off of a loss, especially a TKO, they're gonna come back depending on how the knockout was. They're gonna come back with vengeance, well trained, and they're going to be out looking for blood, especially if that was their first loss, and that was his first loss. So I'm gonna put $2 under 6.5 rounds. Now, the final fight is going to be between Michael Conlan and TJ Doheny. So, Michael Conlan is the expected winner per the market, as you have to bet $700 to win $100. And then you have TJ. You put down $100 to get $450. Now, this is interesting. Over 10.5 rounds is minus 240. Under 10.5 rounds is plus 190. Now, these fighters here, it's very interesting. Michael Conlan's 15-0. He's been fairly active. He fought just about 4 months ago. He went the distance. Before that, he got a knockout. And before that, it went the distance. And before that, he got a knockout in the 9th round. So he's been moving up, stepping up his competition. His last fight with Ionut Baluta went the distance, majority decision, which means 2 out of 3 thought that he won, and then the one had it as a draw. So we are. He's 29 years old, 5'8". His opponent, 22-2, 34 years old. So it's how old was he? 29. So 5-year age gap. He's shorter. He's 5'5.5". So he's going to need to press
Mick. Now, it's funny. They both have a common opponent, which is Ionut Baluta. He won. Michael Conlan beat him a majority decision to win the distance, and he fought him, Ionut Baluta. It went the distance. And he lost in a unanimous decision. So, based on this, it would seem as though Mick would win. Is going to win. However, as I always mention, when a fighter is coming off of a loss, the fighter could come back stronger than ever, especially if it's their first or second loss. Now, you see how he came back from this loss here. He beat a dude, made him retire in the 5th round. Okay? And that was after this loss. But he came back and fought some stiffer competition, and he lost again. Unanimous decision. So it could be that whenever this guy steps up, he doesn't do too good. But you look at his resume, he fought Ryusuke Awasa, and he beat him unanimously. And he was how old? How old is he? 31. And I was looking at the tape. Mick Conlan, he's not too active. He's a switch fighter, which means he fights orthodox and southpaw. He switches up, which is I generally see it as a benefit. You're able to change things up on your opponent. You're able to give them different looks. So that's important if they know how to use it right. And he gets pretty active when he wants to get. Early in the fight, he doesn't throw too many punches. So let's look at the 8th round. This is Michael Conlan versus Diego Alberto Ruiz. He's in southpaw.
Thoroughly bamboozled Ruiz. Sure that he turned up here wanting to give the best possible account that he could of himself, but at no stage does he remotely look like winning this fight.
Now, every now and again he tried to fight in the other attacks, but he's been either Conlan skipped over the distance or
Conlan has a wide stance, which could pose a
and also Conlan's always constantly stalking him, and you feel the pressure there. You know you're being set up.
Could be problematic against someone with fast foot speed.
Good there from Conlan. Nice little roll inside round, take too many steps back. Just dip the knees, roll underneath, and come back with a body shot. So
Let's take a look at the knockout here.
Oh, he's put it low on him. And he's doing the dying swan. Oh, he's put it low.
Kind of hard to see where that punch.
Oh, he's put it low on him.
I think it was that left hand to the.
And he's doing the dying swan. He's not.
To the liver.
He's given us the knockdown.
I don't think it was well done.
Do you not?
I think it might be on the waist down, but the waist down side.
Well, Conlan now will look as though he can take it out. There's certainly no one there, but he stopped it anyway. The towel has come in from his father in the corner. You know?
I think it might be on the waist down, but the waist down side.
Well, Conlan now will look as though he can take it out. There's certainly no one there, but he stopped it anyway. The towel has come in from his father in the corner, and Conlan gets the stoppage when he wanted. And Belfast celebrates. Body shots did it in the end.
You got to make the pay with it.
Well, what did he go down to there?
I think it was the left hand first of all. I think the right hook. I think it was the straight left. Like, of course, it was down. That's not there. I think it might be the first one.
Well, the way he collapsed, that was what made me think initially that he'd been hit low. And he clearly wasn't. In fact, it's hard to see what he was really hit with, which put him down.
So that one there, or the one that whips across. And then obviously that's just before that, but it was a similar combination. So the straight one right into the solar plexus, or the right that whips across your body.
This one's going to be another questionable fight. With the odds here, it's going to go under 10.5. I'm going to put $1. We're going to put $1 on I put $2. And this one here is a close call, so I'm just gonna put probably just put $1 or $2. Probably I'll put $1. That's $2. I'll do the $2. All right, so let's go ahead and put that in there. Place the bet. I just don't think that Doheny is being overlooked, and if it goes over 10.5 rounds, I'll be surprised. So that's what I did. 2 on each. Let's go ahead and confirm.
And there you have it. Another great video. I want to thank you for watching, and feel free to share this. Feel free to like this. Feel free to subscribe. And also, you are more than welcome to donate or support this channel. I leave my links, my Zelle, my Cash App, and I also accept cryptocurrency. Thank you once again. Take care. I'm out.